So I'm sure you know Studio Ghibli for making their super famous films like Spirited Away, Ponyo, and Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm sure you're familiar with how they all have happy endings, except for one. Their 1988 film, Grave of the Fireflies, which is by far the saddest shit ever concocted by Studio Ghibli, and let me tell you why. The movie takes place during the final months of World War II in Japan and follows the tragic tale of a brother named Seita and a sister named Setsuko. The movie begins with them already in war and their mom dies to a bomb. And it doesn't get any better. Now that Seita is alone and has to take care of his sister, he struggles to make ends meet as he ends up living with toxic family members. That stupid I hate that oh my Seita's aunt literally makes him get all the food, and then when they bring it to the house, she barely feeds them, and she mainly feeds her family big portions, and she makes them eat scraps, and then she also wants to sell his mother's kimonos for money for their food, and gets mad at Seita for asking for food because there's barely any resources, even though he's the one getting all the food. Oh my god, I hate her. And it's not even crazy to say that she's the reason for everything bad in this entire movie. Like, that's not even a stretch. Seita makes a boss move and decides to find a new place to live with his sister. He ends up making home in a bomb shelter where they would spend most of their days at. As the country is in peril, Seita has no other choice but to steal in order to feed himself and his sister, which turns out horrible as he's caught and gets his ass beat. Shout out to this goat though, he stuck up for Seita. During this time, Setsuko is getting ill and is denied medicine due to their clear lack of money. And she's also dealing with malnutrition, and as a kid during war with no food or medicine, you could imagine what would happen after that. Seita loses his sister. After fighting so hard to protect her and keep her alive, she succumbs to her conditions. Lost without a purpose, he eventually ends up in a train station where he also succumbs to his injuries and eventually passes to join his mother and sister. Although this story is extremely depressing, like the other stories I go over, there are many good moments, and we can go over those right now. I have two favorite moments personally where it shows the strong bond they have with each other. The first scene that I really love is the beach scene where they go to the beach together, and I think it's really cute. It shows how much fun they can have in the midst of everything. Even though everyone's stressing and panicking, they're trying to enjoy the moments as much as they can. And it also shows how Seita is trying to get Setsuko's mind off of everything and showing how he's a genuine older brother. The second scene is when they get a whole bunch of fireflies and they release them inside of their bunker. It shows the excitement and joy in their faces as it reminds them of life before the war and the lights and city that the army used to always radiate. It's a nice, like, nostalgic feel for them, and you're able to see that in the movie, and I think that's really beautiful. Those are the two most beautiful scenes that I think are super happy and different from the rest of the scenes. My Asian shooters shoot when I say shoot. Even though this movie is insanely depressing, I still loved it. It was created to honor the author's sister who passed away to malnutrition during the war and shows how the civilians of the country are affected by its aftermath. It's a sad reality, but nonetheless, it's reality, whether we like it or not. Not every story is a happy ending, and that's why I think this is the darkest Studio Ghibli movie, because it doesn't have a happy ending. Even if it's the darkest, I personally think it's the most meaningful. If you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend it. Even though I spoiled it all pretty much, it's still worth a watch because I didn't say all the details. Personally, to me, I think the moral of the story is that war doesn't pull punches. Whether you be the son of a military man like Seita or a little girl in the midst of war like Setsuko, war doesn't care who you are. It's merciless, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. And unfortunately, the characters in the story got the short end of the stick. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.